Good evening and welcome back to X-Carbovore. Tonight, as you can see, it is evening. I've had such a busy day. My son's daughter, my granddaughter, had her 6th birthday. So I got to deal with kryptonite all day long, but we've come out on top. So I'm here tonight to kind of give you my results of the day, and I'm hoping that you hang with me. I'll see you on the inside. Welcome again. This is day number 6, and I'm excited that we've gotten this far, but it's nothing really. Think about it. I've done this before and haven't taken any day count. You just do it because in the end, you're going to find that it's not the number of days, it's the change of lifestyle. And ultimately, I'm not going to be counting 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I won't be counting. I would have just changed my life by then. So, today's menu, what are we going to talk about? I'm thinking that we should discuss some of the things I'm eating. And I think I'll start adding that into what I show on a daily. What am I eating? What am I enjoying? Why am I able to do as well as I'm doing? And I have some great news of some of my results a little bit later in our show. We'll be able to do that. Now, I want to share with you a special word for today. And the word that we are dealing with is net carbs. Last time we talked about carbohydrates, but today I want to share with you how we work or calculate net carbohydrates. Sometimes people, when they go on a diet, like the ketogenic diet, a lot of people will like to be 50 net carbs or below, or 20 net carbs or below, depending on your level. And a net carb is your actual carbohydrate minus the minus the fiber, minus your alcohol glycogenesis. What is that word? Minus the fiber and minus the sugar alcohol. Sorry. Yeah, I was pretty close. So most times we're not going to have the sugar alcohol in there, but sometimes you do. And some people, they take that away altogether. They go, all right, we're out of here. No alcohol, sugar, no fiber, and I only have the net carbs or the carbs left. But if you have fiber in something like a hot sauce, for example, I have a hot sauce around here that I use, and I'm just going to finish it. But it has fiber, and it gives me a 0 net carb or 0 carb totally. Actually, the fiber is higher than the carbohydrate count, but it's not recommended. And why do I say that? I told you before that as we go through our carnivore eating, you have to make it sustainable. And every now and then, I like hot food. Black American. What can I say? Like it spicy. So most times, though, I can tell you there will be a time that I taper off and really hit the carnivore hard. And hopefully, if we're around into another month or two, or let's say 2025, you'll probably not see me use any sauce. And there are reasons for that, because some of these sauces, not all, but some of them have chemicals in it that are not good for us. And the whole idea of changing our eating style is not to put more poison inside of us, but to purify our bodies, to purify ourselves. And so that's why. But that's a net carbohydrate. In the carnivore diet, we want to avoid looking at net carbs, and we just want to look at carbs. What's your total carbohydrate? And you want that to be as close to zero as possible. Now, why do I say as close to zero? Sometimes, as you're going to see today, I will buy a piece of beef that may have 0.5, less than 0.5 carbs. Or I might find bacon and I can't get anything that has a 0 carb unless I'm getting fläsk, steak fläsk. In Swedish, they call it, and it doesn't taste good like bacon. I actually have to put salt on it as I fry it. It looks just like bacon, but it doesn't taste like bacon. So I salt it up, but that I can get in 0 carb. And for me, it's better because it's thicker than this tiny, flimsy bacon that they give. But sometimes when you get bacon, you have 0.5, 0.5 or less than 0.5 carbs. You really don't want any carbs in it. So the better, if you can find a 0 carb bacon, use that 0 carb bacon. When I was in the US, I could find heavy whipping cream that was 0 carbohydrates, but here it's impossible. Here, I live in Sweden, so, and I say it's impossible. Everywhere I've looked, whatever store I've looked in, 3 carbs, 2.9 carbs per 100. And okay, I put that in, I go ahead and deal with it because that's what I have here. And sometimes I like cream in my coffee. Tonight, I have no cream in this coffee. This is all black. And I'm okay to drink it that way. But like I said yesterday, sometimes I just have hot water. The important thing, again, the word for the day is net carbs. If you're looking at your net carbs, you're going to take your carbohydrate minus your fiber minus your sugar alcohol, if there happens to be a sugar alcohol in there. So that's it. Let's look at some of the results for today. Okay, before we go into my numbers for today, let's talk about what I ate yesterday and today. Last night, I enjoyed really nice tenderized ribs. And as you can see here, I left the label and I left a picture of the ribs here. After they were nicely grilled and it tastes delicious. But if you notice on the package, the carbohydrates are 0.3 grams per 100. And of that 0.3 grams, 0.3 grams is sugar. So that's sugar. Sometimes you're going to find meats like this, and I try to avoid it because it's unnecessary. The meat will probably taste just as well without the quote unquote sugar that's there. But 0.3 grams of sugar, and I didn't get the chance to eat the entire rib myself, but there's 870 grams here, and maybe I ate probably half. So let's say I ate 400 grams. So you would take 0.3 times 4, which gives you 1.2 carbs. And there is no fiber there for you to deduct. And if there was, as we said earlier, we're looking at complete carbohydrates. We're not looking at net carbs when we do carnivore. So complete carbs, I had 1.2. Now, I said that because I want you to remember when we start talking about what I weighed this morning after eating such a meal, and what my GKI looked like today, sometimes you get amazed. Yeah. Let's look and see what else did I eat today. I also had my lovely boiled egg, soft boiled egg. And I love the soft boiled egg. I had that with some salt. And then later for my dinner, I had fried chicken. Simply fried chicken with salt, a little seasoning. But as I said, keep in mind, I'm weaning myself so that by the beginning of the year, I can be fantastic. And I'm going to go hard and strong come January 1. Right now, I'm there, yes. But to me, I'm weaning myself in. I'm weaning myself in. So with that, let's look at some numbers. So when I woke up this morning, I took my weight quite early and probably after a cup of coffee. And I found that I was 92.3 kilograms, which turns out to be 203.49 pounds, which makes it that I've lost another 0.3 kilograms since yesterday, which is about 0.66 pounds. And I think that's pretty awesome. And that's considering these small little carbs that I did have in my meat last night, which for the most part, I try not to have any carbohydrates, and sometimes they do affect you. Sometimes if you put cream in your coffee, it will affect you. Sometimes if you put cheese on your food, it will affect you. So I'd be very careful about those things. But if you find yourself in a plateau, then those are the first things I try to remove: the cheese, the cream, and definitely if you have carbs, get rid of all the carbs. Carbs are not good for us, and the body can manage itself without them. So I think that's a great number. 92.3 kilograms is the new number that we're working with. Let's look at the next number. Now let's discuss my blood pressure. As you know, if you've been following this channel, and by the way, let's get 10 followers. Tell a friend about what we're doing here. Tell a friend. Help a guy out. I like to see you guys follow me. Not really, not that kind of follow. Follow me. Check me out. See what I'm doing. Keep me motivated. Keep me encouraged. It's good to have, look, the more, the merrier. Yeah. Someone said, this is the season for giving. Give me a little bit of your time here. So if you've been following me, you'll know that I've had a terrible history with my blood pressure, as high as 220 over 110, on the verge, even here while I've been in Sweden, of the physicians wanted to put me in the hospital just to maintain, to get my blood pressure down. But we've been able to manage and not have that. But I was on medication. They put me on medication, I think, 3 different times, because every time they put me on, I seem to find a way to get off of them on my own. This time, I don't plan to go back. And I'm going to give them evidence this time to show them that I don't need blood pressure medicine. So what was my blood pressure this morning? My blood pressure finally has gone down, and it has decreased from yesterday's 145, 146 over 85 to today's number of 135 over 89. Now, the 85, the diastolic went up to 89, but my systolic went down 10 points. So I was 145. Today, I'm 135. And I think that's fantastic. It's moving in the right direction. And we're going to keep heading on that. And you'll see reports on it every day. And you will know that I'm right. I've seen it happen with other carnivore guys and gals. And I'm sure as I stay faithful to this, my blood pressure is going to come back down to the normal range. Let's look at our next number. Today, my glucose was 4.6. I believe that's right. And no, actually it was 4.4. My ketones went up from 0.5 to 1 ketone. And that is awesome. That's awesome. That gives me a GKI. Don't forget, yesterday's GKI was 9.0. Today, my GKI is 4.4. You see how nice that is? I'm in moderate GKI ketosis right now. Moderate. So I went from not being in ketosis at all to moderate. And keep in mind what I ate yesterday: ribs, nice tenderized ribs with a little tiny bit of carbohydrates in them. Yet I still went from not being in ketosis to being in moderate ketosis. Now, my goal, of course, is to be under 3. 3 or below is where I'd like to keep it, because that keeps me in the category that is best for my health. And we went over that scale yesterday, which we're going to do again in the future. But my GKI was awesome. Now, my next test was this. Kryptonite. I had a day today, and as I told you before, I was with my son, his daughter, my granddaughter, and her 6-year-old birthday, and all the people and all the wonderful food and all the wonderful sweets was in my face. And this would be a day typically that I just say, the heck with it. We forget about this day. There's no diet on a birthday. Well, if you take that approach and you break for every birthday, or you break because you're with your friends, then you're not thinking about yourself, and you're not thinking about your health, and you're not going to succeed. So you have to set rules for yourself. This is what I always say to myself when I get to be in that kryptonite area of my life. Of course, everyone wants to be Superman, Superwoman. And we all have our kryptonite, and we have to learn how to overcome them. The vegans, they've learned. The vegetarians have learned. And everyone around them know what they do. It's the carnivore who people challenge. It's the carnivore who people say is eating wrong. You're in danger of high cholesterol. You're going to get scurvy. You're going to have all these problems because you're not getting your vitamin C and blah, 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 blah. Well, we're going to see about that. Let me tell you something. I'll show you. I'm going to come with studies, and I'm going to show you that the carnivore way of eating is the best way of eating. And I try not to be dogmatic. I try not to get to be this preacher about carnivore. But I believe in what I'm doing, and I've seen it, and I've been successful on it. And that's why I'm sharing my journey with everyone around the world. I'm not ashamed anymore. I was afraid. I was afraid before to tell people. And sometimes that keeps you in the shadows. So it's easier for you to break. It's easier for you to hide, and no one knows. Well, now the cat's out the bag. So listen, I think that's about it for today. It's been a long day for me. I want to get this video up so that all of you can see it. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what I'm telling you, and you enjoy it, please subscribe to my channel. Write me a note. Let me know that you're following me, that you're looking at what I'm doing and it's making a difference in your life or someone that you might know. Always remember, tell your friends that there's a guy like me doing a thing like this. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.